Hi guys, welcome back. Kat here again. Today we're going to be canning tomatoes and we're going to be actually able to use it for 3 different products. 1 for pasta sauce, 2 for pizza sauce, and also 3 for tomato soup. So whenever I can, I like to get as much variety out of my canning products as possible because you're spending money and time on it, and then whenever you go to the pantry to retrieve something, you want to be able to have options, especially because everything is in a shortage of jars and lids right now. So being able to make the most for your money and bang for your buck is going to be the best deal. So, and if you're wondering why I'm wearing gloves, I wore gloves in my previous canning video as well. It's because my skin is sensitive. Plus, I also just like to keep things a little bit cleaner for canning. So you'll see me wearing these from time to time. So first what we've done is I have 1 bushel of tomatoes, which is basically 2 boxes. Let me get the boxes for you. You'll see here, 2 of these boxes equals 1 bushel. Okay, just to give you a little perspective on how much. And then you'll be seeing them too whenever I show you what we've got going on. I've already sprayed we're leaving the skins on, number 1. Number 2, I've already sprayed our tomatoes with vegetable spray, let them sit, wash them, clean them. Now we're coring them, and we're going to be quartering them. So I'm going to just show you the camera here, lower the camera. I have just a knife here that is pointy at the end. This is perfect for coring. I'm going to make sure it's very sharp. And see here, we need to take out the core and we need to take out a little bit of bad spots. So if you hold your thumb like this, and then we're going to go in on an angle, and I'll show you here, and just spin with your other hand on the cutting board. Okay, and then it should look like this. See how it's kind of like a cone shape? That's what you want, and it takes out everything that you don't need. And you can either throw that out or compost it. Next, what we're going to do is just take out that little bottom little piece, and we're just going to stick our knife in there and just slide it on the cutting board until that piece comes out too. And if you have any blemishes, you can just go in here and cut them out. Okay, so I just have a few to demonstrate here for you guys. Just going to repeat this process over and over. Like I said, I like to get them at least a half a bushel cleaned first and washed, and then do these. And then I have on my stove already my big pot that I'm using, and I already have these starting to cook down. These are really, really easy. Honestly, everything. Just about anything that is a 1 ingredient recipe for canning is usually pretty easy, guys. All right, perfect. So next, we're just gonna turn them over so that it doesn't roll on you. We're gonna chop them in half, and I like to use my little butcher knife here. Just keep this thing real nice and sharp. A sharp, nice knife is a safe knife. And you can just breeze through all these here. We're gonna just chop them up. This doesn't need to be any particular size because these are all just gonna get cooked down and blitzed. And that's what makes this really easy, very simple, skins on and all. Like I said, once you get those cores and those little bottoms out, everything else moves pretty fast. The cooking time on these does take a little bit longer though, just because we're cooking so many at once. But hey, you can go have a break while these are cooking down. Okay. So we've got 1 bushel done. I'm going to bring you over here to our stove here in just a minute. I'm just going to pour these in. And I'm going to bring you over to the stove and show you what we have. So this is my 23 quart canner. This is just the biggest pot that I have. That's why I'm using that. I'm going to take you for a little look inside. We've just got all of our tomatoes. Alright guys, when we are back, so next what we are going to do is chop up some onion to put in our tomatoes. And we're also going to put some garlic in, and then we're going to start to season it before we blitz it, and this will be creating our sauce. Our tomatoes have been stewing on the stove top now for probably about an hour. I have my 23-quart pot here, and I have a 10-quart pot here. So just so you're aware approximately how much that full bushel of tomatoes actually needs. So here we go. I'm just gonna show you what I'm doing here. Just chopping up our onion. You can use whatever onion you have on hand. I ended up having purple and white, so I'm just going to give this a nice little cut horizontally and vertically, and then we'll finish with a horizontal cut to give us little cubes. Now, if I would have remembered to put this onion in sooner, we could just have chopped it up the same size as the tomato. However, I forgot to, so we just have to do it a little smaller so it'll cook, and then we'll be blitzing it, which isn't an issue. Okay. Good to go. Like I said, you don't have to worry about this being perfect, because we're going to be just blitzing it all. So now we're going to add this to the big pot. I already added our onion to the smaller pot. And I already added the other half of this purple onion along with some white onion to the big pot as well, since it's just so large in capacity. Alrighty. Next we're going to add some garlic and seasoning. So I already added some garlic to the small pot. We're going to add to the large pot. Now, I like a lot of garlic. It adds a lot of flavor. I'm going to move you a little closer here. I do like a lot of garlic. It adds a lot of flavor, especially in Italian cooking, or really whatever you're going to do with this. Like I said, this is a good base for a tomato soup. You can use this for if you're making stuffed peppers. In replace of tomato juice, you can also use this. That's another good way for it. Once again, you can use it for pizza sauce, pasta sauce, literally anything. Anything you would use tomatoes for, like a tomato juice or tomato soup base. Like I said, that's a ton of garlic in there. This is a 3-pound tub, and I did use a lot of that. But like I said, this is a huge pot too. If you can see where I'm standing, how far this comes up, like I said, this is a 23-quart pot. This is actually my pressure canner. Once the sauce is done cooking in both of these two pots, and everything's blitzed and everything ready to go, I'm going to be taking the sauce out of here, pouring it right into my jars, which I've already cleaned, are right behind me. And then we're just then I don't have to wash these two pots once my jars are all filled. And then I'm going to fill these up with water, and then we're going to water bath can our sauce. So while I'm mixing this up and seasoning it, I'm just going to tell you guys a little bit more about pressure canning and water bath canning. Pressure canning is for low acid foods, whereas water bath canning is for high acid foods. So water bath canning is for all of your fruit and some peppers, like hot peppers and everything like that. You can do jams, jellies, you know, all your fruit. When it comes to meats and all the other vegetables, you have to pressure can that. So just so that you guys are aware and mindful of what you need to do. Always look on that home preservation website that I've been referencing to you guys before. Always look up a recipe, because you don't want to accidentally, you know, make something wrong whenever it comes to canning. As long as you follow the instructions, you're pretty much good to go. Okay guys, so the seasonings I put in our sauce was my usual seasonings I always use: onion powder, garlic powder, Italian seasoning, oregano, I use the rest of my crushed red pepper flakes, and then salt and pepper. Okay? And then obviously I told you I put in a lot of garlic. We have the onions in there. Right now it's just simmering. So what we're going to do next is bring out the stick mix or the Immersion Blender. And we are going to mix this all up. And this is kind of where the fun comes in, because you get to see everything incorporated and blended together, and it's just really nice, especially after you've done all of that work. And also seeing that it really doesn't take, it takes a lot of work, but it could be worse. Like if you skinned all of these, it will be so much worse. I almost assure you. With the tomatoes and the seasonings and the onions and both of our pots right there, looking really, really nice. Okay, so next we're just gonna blend this up. Just a nice little stick mix blender, very easy to clean. It just locks and unscrews this, then you can wash this separately, locks into place. And it's a little bit loud, so I apologize if it's too loud for you guys. You put it all the way down at the bottom of the pan, or the pot, and I just hold on to the pot a little bit, hold up the cord, and just move it all and all around. And we just want it so it's nice and smooth and creamy. I'm gonna blend both of these pots and then I'll come back to you. This stick mix saves a lot of time, because if you have to pour all this into a blender or a food processor, it really takes a lot more time and you're dirtying up a lot of stuff. So I would recommend getting one of these stick mixes for sure. But I'll be back as soon as these are all blended. Alrighty, so now we're gonna can up our sauce in our jars. I had already canned up the quarts, but I'm going to show you how to do the pints. So when you're doing quarts, you need to do a half a teaspoon, or you can do lemon juice as well. Just follow the recipe, but if you're using citric acid, you have to use a half a teaspoon for quarts, and for pints we're just going to split that in half and do a quarter teaspoon. For lemon juice it is a little different, so you're going to have to look that recipe up. But like I said, for our pints here, I'm just going to put a quarter in each one. And I'm just going to start off with these 4. I'm not sure how much left I have here. Then I'm going to bring the camera in here so you can see. We're just filling it up to this bottom lip again, so 1 inch head space. Okay. And I just have my ladle right here. Like I said, we seasoned everything. Everything's all beautiful and good to go. That way we can just open the sauce and use it immediately. It really shouldn't need anything. Now if you want it to be, now it's very liquidy, but if you want it to be thicker, whenever you open it, you would just add a tomato paste. Just do a few of these here and show you. I'm not sure how many pints we're going to get out of this. I have my first load right here in the canner of quarts, because I can do 7 quarts at a time and I can do 10 pints at a time. When you're water bath canning, unfortunately you can't stack your pints, just because since you have to water bath can, you have to keep your water level above the jars, and when you double stack your jars with pints, it doesn't leave enough room at the very top for that water. It'll actually boil out, and it has to vigorously boil for the quarts have to boil for 40 minutes and your pints are going to boil for 35 minutes. Okay, so you can see here I've already gotten a few done. Next, what we're going to do with these is take our debubbling tool and we're just going to go around the edge. Like I said, I've already put in my citric acid in the beginning. If not, you can put it in now too, or your lemon juice, whatever you prefer to use. I'm just using citric acid because that's what I have on hand. I have lemon juice as well, but I use lemon juice for other things too, so we're just using citric acid today. And then we're just going to take a little paper towel with some white vinegar, and we're going to clean off these rims. This part of the process is the same every single time you can. So I may not always film this unless you guys actually request it. I'm just letting you know that now. And then we're going to take our lids out of the simmering pan, pop them right on, and then we'll put our rings on as well. Also, let me know if you guys actually want me to show you all of the chopping and all the prep work. I don't know if you like to see that, and I could just fast forward through it. I've been leaving it out because I figured you guys kind of know what to do, and I just kind of catch you up to speed in the video. But let me know what you like to watch. Okay, so I got our bands on here and everything, and these are ready to go in the canner whenever my canner is free. Okay guys, I already jarred up all my quartz and I got them all ready. You can see them here. However, I put the first 7 in my canner over here, and you can see the water bath. With the water bath canning, you just have to have the water about 1 inch over your jars. You want to make sure they're submerged, and you want to make sure it's boiling. So once that water reaches boiling point, that's whenever we're going to start our timer. So I'm going to show you what our pot looks like. See how much of a rolling boil that is. It needs to be boiling that much, and then we can start our timer for 40 minutes for quarts and 35 minutes for pints. Alrighty guys, this is our final product here. Just pulled the quarts out of the canner. I'm just going to let these cool now for about 12 to 24 hours. And then once again, we're going to wash our jars and our lids and take the bands off and make sure that the lids are sealed. And yeah, so that's about it. So I actually have about 8 more quarts going and 8 more pints. So once they're all done, I'll just let them cool down, and then we'll wash them and label them tomorrow and put them away. You guys have a great night and great day, great evening. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much, guys. Bye-bye.